Okay, we are live on YouTube and recording. My phone is now silent. Okay, everybody. Good morning. It is April 26th, 2025. The time is 10:33, and I am calling this meeting to order. The secretary is not present, so I will be administering the roll calls and things like that as well, and leaving them in the minutes for her to figure out. So we will start with the roll call. We know that the secretary in District 9 will be absent today. It looks like Micah Haynes from District 8. Oh, just arrived. 1 second. Who is Mr. Smith? I'm going to make you a co-host. If you can keep an eye out for people coming into the room and then announce them when they get here, that would be very helpful. Okay, we'll start with District 9, Ms. Curran. She is absent. District 8, Mr. Haynes. You're muted, Mr. Haynes.
Present.
Thank you. District 7, Ms. Glass.
Here.
District 6, Mr. Lomax.
Present.
District 5, Ms. Schillings.
Here.
District 4, Mr. Lundy.
Present.
District 3, Ms. Avery.
Here.
District 2, Mr. Cotton.
Here.
And District 1, Mr. Schick is absent. Ms. Coquillard, Outreach.
Here.
Mr. Schulteis, Tech.
Present.
Mr. Smith, Communications.
I'm here.
Okay. Let's do Secretary, Ms. Dosbach is not here today. Mr. Dixon, Treasurer.
Here.
Mr. Siniak, Vice Chair.
Present.
And the chair is present as well. Appointment of a timekeeper. We will do Mr. Smith. Are you still here? Or did you? Mr. Smith, can you act as timekeeper? Thank you. And, oops, went out of order. Addition to the agenda as presented, Mr. Siniak would like to add under new business, item E, another item, May SCC reschedule. Is there any objection to adding that item for 5 minutes immediately after? Okay, hearing none, that item is added to the agenda. Are there any other amendments to the agenda as presented? Okay, is there any objection to the adoption of the agenda as amended? Hearing no objection, the agenda is adopted. And Mr. Smith is acting as timekeeper. Next on the agenda is the chair report. Did a lot of work in Civi this past month, as well as doing the trainings with the board. Worked a lot with Andy Burns on getting some things fixed and corrected, cleaning up some bad data. Goals for the next 30 days, things that I'd like to have done before the end of May. Preferably the first one is preferably next week. I think we have all of the documentation in order. I think he'll mention this in his report, but setting up our new bank account with a new bank. Adding more items to the merch store. We did have a very successful, I should have brought it. I've got one and it's in the other room. In response to former national chair saying that the Libertarian Party has been hijacked by radical empathy, I quickly created a design with Radical Empathy, put it on a t-shirt, put it in the merch store. And I think we sold 12 of them last time I looked, which isn't bad. That's $120 we earned, essentially. So that's great. I'd like to add more of our previous items that we used to have into the merch store. Once we get some more items, we're still dealing with the technical issue of it's not connecting to our database, but we can raw import those orders into our database. So within the next week, I plan on having more items and then also changing the shop link on the top of our website to go to our actual merch store instead of where it goes now. But I wanted to wait until we got those technical issues hammered out, but it looks like it's going to be a lot longer to get those hammered out. So we're just going to have to do it kind of the somewhat manual way of getting that info into Civi. But I'm tired of waiting, so we just need to move forward. Other item is I want to finish building out our LMS system and getting it actually to look like our website as well as the forum, and create action and training list items to be included in the LMS, which stands for Learning Module System. So that's the training on how to do Civi, how to be a county chair, how to host a convention, how to create an agenda, how to keep notes, how to fill out your CFA4, CFA3, candidate guides, things like that. So creating that auction item, and I'm going to send that list to you guys to have you guys input on what the top priorities are on those videos. The other item is within the next 2 weeks, I'd like to have an updated convention RFP sent out to all of the district reps for you guys to start the process of requesting location information for the 2026 and also the 2027 convention as well. The last item on my agenda is updating our email automations within Civi, so that people are getting the notification, excluding the 1994 Society, monthly donors, getting a monthly 7-day before notice that their membership is about to renew, as well as a chain of emails if their membership payment fails. So they get one immediately, and then they get another one over an interval over the next 30 days. Yeah, Mr. Siniak is coming into the office on Monday to do the membership cards with me. So we'll get the ones that did not go out, that were the week of the convention through the month of April. Those will go out Monday. We're talking about doing that on a weekly basis instead of a monthly basis so that that doesn't create a backlog, which, when Kristen was unable to do that, it created a multi-month backlog, which was a pain in the butt, and you just kind of end up putting it off because you don't want to do it because it's too much. Weekly, bi-weekly, makes it a whole lot easier to get those out quickly. And we can also discover problems like somebody didn't get their membership card or they didn't get their pen. We can deal with that much quicker than if it's on a monthly basis, then it takes 30 to 60 days for us to find out that there was a problem. This way we find out within a week or two that there was an issue. Those are my goals. One thing that I would like to say is I did notice that only District 3, District 4, and District 5 have sent out their 1994 requests to join to their districts. District 2, I know you have yours in draft. We talked about those. Hope you took a look at them and figured out what you want to do, or just completely ignore me. But I really would like for the districts to send those out, so that we can start doing those follow-ups, phone calls, and figure out what's working, what's not working, and getting people to join the 1994 Society. But it is critically important that we increase the amount of monthly donors. so that we're not relying on individual high dollar donors to sustain the party. We want to be able to prepare for 2026 and make sure that we are going to have the resources we need to be able to support not just the Secretary of State candidate, but our local candidates as well. So that is my report. Are there any questions? Cool. Next up, we have the Vice Chair, Mr. Siniak. You have the floor, sir.
Hey, good morning. It's good to see all your guys' faces. This is a little bit of piggyback on what Evan was saying, as well as some of my goals as we continue to move forward. So the first one, as Evan already mentioned, I'm going to be doing some office hours. It may not look like the traditional hours of because of my work schedule, so it'll be more evenings. I'm working on Evan training me so that he can keep his traditional hours, and then I can come in after and finish whatever needs to be done. So adequately getting trained in membership and looking at what cards need to be sent out is one of the larger goals. I already had one meeting with Evan where I identified some of my personal goals. I'll share some of those. I want to work with the media team. I'd like to do some 5-minute videos. You could call it a podcast. I know that's a little bit um, whatever in the libertarian world, overused probably, but just some media to get out to the public, more than just words, so we could get some faces and some videos shown. So I'd love to do that in office as well. So I'm working on identifying about 2 evenings a week that I can be in office, and then additionally, I'll be doing a lot through my home. I will be doing a monthly newsletter from the vice chair, just my personal take on some liberty-minded topics. I enjoy writing, and I think Evan asked me to do this, so I think it's a good goal for me. Eventually, it may increase, but I want to start with SMART goals, be able to hit whatever the goals I can target, see how those are going, make sure we are doing the work appropriate things like membership cards, and getting those done and seeing what is realistic. So as I'm moving forward, I'm excited to get these things rolling. And if anybody has questions for me, go ahead and I can take any of those.
Any questions for the Vice Chair? Okay, hearing none, we move on to our treasurer, Mr. Dixon.
Hey, thanks. Is Michael Schultes out there? I just wanted to say thanks to him first because he spent about 2 hours with me at the library earlier this week, and we did some orientation on QuickBooks, generating reports. So that was really generous of his time. And in the meantime, one of the outstanding items. And so, by the way, we're moving our way through the kind of treasurer handoff process. I've also met with Evan, and Evan and I have gone through Civi a couple times, and we've identified the bank that we want to move to. Regarding that moving and opening a bank account, that needs to be linked to the process of transferring me as the official treasurer through the state and the federal. So that needs to be done simultaneously. So until then, Michael's going to be, keeping the books updated on the bank account stuff, but I can see it through QuickBooks. And when we're ready to go to the bank, then he can do his part, then we can go to the bank. But there's not a huge hurry on that. I'm thinking hopefully though, maybe the next 30 to 60 days, Evan, if we could get to that, like that's my time frame. I totally respect your need to get some rest. And I think everybody's kind of needs that a little bit. Going to a little bit further on the horizon as far as to-do list on the treasurer kind of transfer process. Hard date, July 31st is a federal filing, so I definitely want to make sure I have access to the accounts on that date. We'll be ahead of that, but I just want to make sure everybody knows that's my internal deadline. That's a drop dead deadline to be updated on that stuff. And with the state, there's really not a report until January 31st, but again, we're going to be doing some updates with making me the treasurer well before that. The good news, we don't have those official reports for a little bit. Next, if you've had a chance to look at the budget, I don't know if you have, or I mean the financial report that I sent out in advance of this meeting. Regarding that, I kept pretty much the same format that had been used up to this point. And so I'm okay with that, but I'm also very flexible as far as what information do you want to see? What information is important to you? You tell me, what do you want to understand? And I can elevate and bubble that up and get the right reports. There's a lot of different types of reports to show the financials. If you wanted to look at the existing report that I sent out, for my money, you're going to get the most information if you look through like the statement of activity, which is towards the end, and just look kind of the year to date number. And what you'll see is our net income basically is about $1,000. We're about flush, which means we brought in about as much as we spent over this 3.5 month period. Now the balance sheet, if you go back up, they call it the financial position is the way QuickBooks prints it out, but that's the balance sheet. If you go back up to the balance sheet for April 24th and find that, you'll see that we have about $19,800 in the bank, and that's basically been. I would say we have been holding steady at that level if you net in and out convention cost over the last 3.5 months. So not a lot to, all that looks like basic bills and stuff. We can, if you wanted to dive into convention costs, those are also broken out. But you can read those and give me your questions or send me questions later. But I wanted to open up though on the change in reporting, if everyone was okay with the way it is, that they want changes to it. I'm completely flexible. There's some changes I would like to make, but I don't know how structured this reporting needs to be. So that is pretty much my whirlwind tour of what I've been up to and what I have on the horizon. Again, is those federal and state reports, and then switching me and Michael off and opening bank accounts, which we're unscheduled to do.
Mr. Treasurer, Mr. Dixon, I
Yes,
would
please.
suggest any changes to the report that you want to make, I would say make them. If we don't like it, then we can always
Okay.
say something.
Yeah, I didn't
Um,
know how important, if it needed to align with national and stuff like that, then I didn't
no,
want to tinker with it too much.
that was my goal was our reports weren't um they were kind of hard to follow before. And so I had asked Michael back then if we could have something that looked more like National's report, as well as it was the same with the membership report. Said, hey, can we have something that looks more like National's membership report so that we have, tracking specifically with the membership report so we can see like, hey, month over month, quarter over quarter, district by district, membership type by membership type. This is where we've grown. This is where we've lost. Here's where we're
Mhm.
stagnant. Um, the other thing was I'm glad that I've got a little bit of breathing room because I discovered yesterday that my ID expired and I ignored the little card that came in the mail.
Yeah, I'll let
Uh,
you get on that. I'll let
and
you get on that.
you can't renew them via online anymore. I have to actually go in with all my documentation and redo it. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. And they were like, well, it's because of the real ID. And I was like, yeah, but I was able to renew my ID before, which
I'm
was
gonna
a
I'm gonna
real
I'm gonna
ID.
nag you gently, and my nag strategy is always to kind of crank it up by like a week or two. The nag gets louder
Yeah.
and louder, and I'll build it up to just the right
I
about
figured if I go
May,
in
June.
Tuesday to get my ID, I'll get the print off, and the bank confirmed that if I come in with the little print off ID, that because they know me,
Yeah.
that's good enough. So I was like, well, maybe we can go in Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, I'm
But
not
if
in a
you're not in
raging
a huge
hurry. The
rush,
burden is really on Michael more than me because until it switches over, he needs to be
yeah, we
going
need
into
the
taxes
updated
account.
CFA 3, and I don't know what the form is for the FEC, but we need those two things because we actually have to take those in with us to show.
Correct. Yeah,
Um,
so we'll
cool.
until then, I'll keep working with Michael. He's again, big shout out to Michael. Really
Yep.
appreciate your help on the transition. One last thing on money in and out. One thing that you will probably hear me focus on is going forward. Convention behind us, and I think all of us know this is the membership fees and dues. That's the number that's kind of driving all of this, and to the extent we can increase those numbers, the financials will take care of themselves.
If
That's my
everybody who
notes.
was, you'll hear this from me in a minute, but if everybody who was a current member but not a donor, well, excuse me, if everybody who is a 1994 Society monthly pledger right now just increased by $10 per month, we would have an extra $900 a month. That's our office rent right there, plus $100. So that's important. But we have, I'll get into this later, but we have almost 500 members, but only 90 monthly donors. So anywho, any questions for the treasurer, Mr. Lundy?
Yes, sir.
Just real quick. It looks like, if I'm reading this right, our convention came out about $4,000 positive. Is
Yes.
that all of the? Is everything been paid? Like, are those final numbers?
Yes.
Awesome.
Just got
Profitable
confirmation that the check cleared from the venue.
Great.
All right, moving on to the secretary. She's not here, but I'm not going to put her minutes up for approval because I did notice quite a few errors in it. So I want to go over those with her. I think they were just things that were misheard. So it wasn't stylistic. There were just a couple of things that were reported kind of incorrectly. Like I don't plan on suing National unless they don't give us the data. But it kind of said in there that I was already planning to sue National. That's not the case. So I want to go over those with Ms. Dosbach first. So we'll put those on the agenda for the next meeting. But please do look at them and see if you guys notice anything as well. This was her very first meeting, so a lot of grace, and it was a long, complicated meeting, so a lot of grace needs to be given for that. And we hope she's doing okay right now. Let's see. Okay, moving on. Oh, for the record, we have, I forgot to mention this before, we have Mr. Pullen from Lake County as a guest. And we have Mr. Greg Hirsch, who is the LNC alternate for Region 3 Northern Conference. And I mention that because Mr. Hirsch, if you're available, you can go ahead and give us your LNC update, sir.
Okay. I'm sure most people, we had our last Zoom LNC meeting happened on April 6th. We do it the first Sunday of the month, except for months that we meet in person. And the main thing is discussed. If that meeting, the meeting's on YouTube, if you want to go back and watch, you can certainly do it. We discussed our fundraising needs, which we're going to be reaching out and making phone calls, and then also Stephen Nico's reviving Project Armakitas, however you pronounce that, something they did back about 20 years ago, kind of an updated version of that to raise funds for the party. As far as selling the building goes, the national office building is not going to be sold just yet until we get repairs done on it. That roof, you have a leaky roof, and there's needed repairs done. We're going to get those that raise funds to get those things fixed before we even consider selling the building. That way, you get and then we'll have that discussion after that. And then, as far as getting a new office and whatever else, I mean, that building was mainly a starter building. It was kind of inadequate for our needs. When they first bought it, it's like a big townhouse is all it is, if those have never seen it. But anyway, moving on from that, the FEC has sent an official letter to our treasurer, Bill Redpath, requesting more information and clarification on things. At this point, it's not an investigation or any wrongdoing or anything like that. They need clarification, more information at this point. There's a big hullabaloo going on about all over social media about this, but so far that's where that stands at this point. And we're having our next in-person meeting in a few weeks, the weekend of May 18th in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I know that several of y'all, I know we're coming to that, which should be a great time. So we'll be there that weekend. The convention committee is going to meet in person there as well the day before. And we're going to tour the hotel. That's the 2026 convention hotel, which will be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're going to tour that during the weekend, lay it all out and everything. And also, I posted something in the chat. We are now taking applications for the bylaws committee and the ballot access committee. If anybody's interested in being on either of those two committees, I put the link in the chat. And also, the latest membership report for March just came out. Indiana ranks number 10 in the top 10 states with 321 national members. The national membership total went down about 1,000 people between February and March. We stand at 200,036,887 total membership. Sustaining members dropped about 200 members over the last month and dropped about 300 members from the month before. So I know that's kind of odd. Ever since Angela resigned, our sustaining membership has actually dropped a bit, which that's concerning. Our life membership went up one. And of course, the entire report has been posted. It has a breakdown between all the states and everything else. And that's the main things I have for now for the LNC.
Formal request, because I've made it a couple times and I will do it every meeting. I would like to receive, they are sending a active member report every week. That is not enough. I'd like to know who they considered deceased, who is lapsed, when they lapsed. I'd like to know paid enough, pledge not signed, and almost paid as part of that. That was the data dump that we used to get, and that is critical data to verify that the membership report is correct, because it's not. And I know it's not for a fact, because I know the ones that I got, there are people who are triple members who are not listed. So again, my official request to my regional, we want the full data dump. And if they can't get it, stop publishing the state by state list, because it makes us look bad. We have 200 triple members. There's no way we only have 132 additional members.
Okay, Evan, if you would kindly put this in writing and send it in an email, I will certainly get this forwarded, address it.
Just as an FYI, we have 100 lifetime members, and many of them are also lifetime national members. The vast majority, I would say at least 70% of them, are lifetime members. So that to me says that National thinks we only have 60 non-triple, non-lifetime members, and that math doesn't jive with me. So I'd like to know who they think are not current members from their database.
Okay, and that's a good thing to find out.
Second request is, we don't want to wait till the last minute to get sweet information for the 2026 convention.
So
So
noted. I'll pass it on to Mr. Ford, our chairman.
any questions or comments for Mr. Hirsch? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Mr. Hirsch. We will move on to district reports. Mr. Cotton, District 2.
District report for April. We continue some steady progress. Kosciuszko County remains active with regular meetings and is participating in the National Liberty Day of Service. I don't have exact details on what exactly they're planning on doing here just yet. St. Joe County held its April meeting, and we're actually working to fill treasurer vacancy after Amanda Mitchell had to resign due to some personal reasons. So we announced that here at this last April 14th meeting. So we'll be looking to fill her position here. She did good work for us. So we're sorry to see her leave her position, but you know, family and personal stuff comes first sometimes. So hope for the best, and you know, she'll be continuing to be active, but we'll get that position filled here. Other counties remain quiet, so we're going to be working on some outreach efforts here in District 2 in St. Joe County, and we're going to focus moving forward on trying to strengthen the active affiliates and try to see what we can do to bolster up some membership here on the non-affiliate counties.
Any questions for Mr. Cotton? Okay, Mr. Cotton, please see my note in the chat. District 3, Miss Avery.
Thank you. Sorry, my voice is a little bad this morning. Not a lot going on in District 3. I'm really only hearing from Allen County, and that's because I live in Allen County. But we are continuing to have our regular monthly business meetings plus our casual outreach. And we've recently had a couple of new people pop in, so that's exciting. we're looking forward to doing Pride in July and trying to get Chase Oliver to come out. So that's very exciting. Still haven't really developed a plan for our second service Saturday, but we're working on it. That's about it.
All right, any questions for Miss Avery? Okay, hearing none. District 4, Mr. Lundy.
Not a whole lot new to report. Membership did bounce up a little bit. I know last month it was kind of dire on that because we dropped a lot. Looks like we got some of those people back. So thank you and anybody else who's making membership calls to let people know they had lapsed. Otherwise, everything's pretty quiet. I mean, we got the email from the training sent out, and that's about it. There's no news from anybody up here. I've still not heard anything from Tippecanoe, so we don't know what's going on up there. And that's about it.
Okay, any questions for District 4? Okay, hearing none. I'll do it at the end, Christy. District 5, Ms. Schillings.
Thank you, Chair. Very stable here in District 5. Membership levels are very stable. Hamilton County will be doing Carmel Fest July 3rd and 4th. Any and all volunteers to man the booth 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. would be appreciated either of those days. We will be doing our service Saturday, May 3rd, 10 a.m. at feedingteam.org. This will be our third year with the organization. They're always very thankful for our help, and it's a needed service in our community. That's all I have today.
Send me details. I will come to the July 3rd.
Okay.
Help at the booth on July 3rd.
Thank you.
Any questions for Ms. Schillings? Okay, hearing none. District 6, Mr. Lomax.
Yeah, so I'm currently on vacation for this week, but there's been a lot going on, at least in Hancock County over the last month. We've got a proposed data center that's very similar to the one that was turned down in Kosciuszko County that is being proposed right next to a field trip destination for school children out in rural Hancock County. It's an apple orchard that's been there since 1890 in business, and all of the property around it, including adjacent property, is flagged to be sold to potentially Google for a data center out in the middle of nowhere next to where this apple orchard is. So we're drumming up a lot of interest online. We're communicating across party lines with several different people that are sitting council members. And that when I say we, that's myself and Larry, the chair of Hancock County. We also got word that Travis had a little bit of an issue, and I think Evan, the chair, is working with Travis on correcting that issue with the finance report, or just assuming that the finance report was done correctly because they did it together, and they're saying that they haven't received it. So if you've got any update on that, Evan, that would be great. Larry himself is working with the city council. The president of the city council and Larry have been texting back and forth. And they are working on several different things, like are speaking out against the ordinance about homelessness and being able to sleep on public property overnight in Greenfield. They can now just arrest you for sleeping on a public park bench or along the Pansy Trail, which is the most common place where the homeless sleep in Greenfield. So we're doing a lot of advocacy work. We're also talking to Hancock County COAM about service opportunities at the soup kitchen, the Butler Soup Kitchen in downtown Greenfield, and the not the warming center, but the homeless shelter that they just built out on Wilson. So yeah, membership stays steady. We're all still engaged. We're talking to each other on a regular basis, and we're fighting the fight for the people that can't fight it for themselves or don't have the voice or the resources to talk to. So I will go ahead and yield the rest of my time and ask Evan if you've got any update on the Travis situation, and if anybody's got any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, time was already expired, so there's nothing for you to yield back. You
well.
owe us time. The issue was back in January when Mr. Chittum filed his annual campaign finance report. For some reason, their internal system at the election division did not record it as being filed, even though the campaign finance portal shows it was filed. And it's not an active report needing to be filed when he logs in. We talked to him back then. They said, it's a glitch in the system. Don't worry about it. We'll fix it. He received a $1,000 fine for it. I then contacted them and they don't know why, because there's no record of the system still having that error. They don't understand why it automatically kicked out that letter to him, because they're automatic. They don't actually see them. They get printed and sent. But they, in writing, confirmed that he was not late. He has no fine. There is no fine in the system attached to him or his committee. So everything should be fine. Or everything on his end, everything's fine. He will not have a fine. The state system, they need to figure out why it did it, but that is resolved. And I took time out of my vacation to handle that with him and for him.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Adam. Thank you.
District 7, Miss Glass.
District 7 had Marion County had their convention in the first of the month. I guess it was the second week of the month, and we re-elected Rico as our chair, and I am now the treasurer of the county party. I'm working with Zach to get my name and Rico to get my name on the bank account and to switch over the address so that things don't get mailed to places where they might get lost. And I did have a meeting, even though we had the convention, and Chuck showed up to make sure that we can maybe make quorum. We are scheduling in the June meeting a redefining of our bylaws to get the, what is the word I'm looking for? Quorum numbers adjusted so that 8 is maybe not our number. And I will be sending out an email this week to announce that. And if the chair would be so kind as to give me some verbiage for that email, that would be lovely. Any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Glass? Okay, hearing none. Let's talk about that, Ms. Glass, this week.
Okay.
District 8, Ms. Curran is not available today. District 9, Mr. Haynes.
This is Micah. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
So for District 8, actually not 9, but when I was reelected.
Yeah, whatever you
at the
guys are.
convention-
I always get you guys confused.
Yeah, those idiots.
Flip back.
But when I was reelected, we really just had the Vigo County and Greene County with active affiliates with active members that even showed up to the convention. Angie Horning was there. But I've started working on at least finding points of contact otherwise in Knox and Vanderburgh, also Dubois County with Adrian Engelberth. But in Knox County, I got former member Angela Bach reactivated, and in Vigo County, I talked to Joshua Marsh and brought him into the group. And like I've been saying, I'm slowly trying to build the foundation back up from what was left over there from previous leadership or lack thereof. And in addition to that, a lot of other members and contacts in the 8th district that have reached out to social media and to me directly with questions and wanting to be involved. So I've been informally bringing them together and talking to them and kind of laying out the plan forward, which is just rebuilding the foundation that kind of seems to have fallen apart there. But some like local social media type pages in Gibson County and Vanderbilt County had reached out with wanting to talk to a libertarian in the 8th district. They have reached out to Democrats and got a Democrat, can't get a Republican, but these two separate kind of small town local news outlet type things. We're wanting to talk to a libertarian, so either myself or preferably Andy Horning or Richard Fitzlaff will be available to talk to them about that. As you all saw, there's the article published, written by Tom Langhorne. Not ideal, but I talked to him and that was put out. And next week, I'm going to actually put what I have written into the city CRM email system to ask current members to become 94 Society members with me and ask non-members to become members in general, as was asked by the chair. That's what I have right now to report. If there are any questions, I can try to elaborate.
Thank you, Mr. Haynes. Mr. Siniak, I did see your hand up. Did you want to ask Mr. Haynes something?
No, after his time, I want to move to recess.
Okay, hold on one second. District 9 is not here. Before, just as an update, membership report, we have 476 members, 565 memberships, 89 1994 society memberships. 7 of those are annual memberships. The rest are monthly. 200 triple members and 100 lifetime members. And that's the membership report. Is there any objection to recessing for, how much time do you need, Mr. Siniak?
Just 3 minutes.
Okay, is there any objection to recessing for 10 minutes?
3 or 5.
10 minutes, because then I
10.
need to go to the
Okay.
bathroom for recessing. Okay, hearing no objection, we are recessed for 10 minutes. We will be back at 11:25.
I don't have anywhere to go. If anybody, I don't know if anybody saw that Kyle Pierce in Ohio, was in a very bad accident, and they're holding a fundraiser for one of the causes near and dear to him, to eliminate qualified immunity, qualified immunity in Ohio. He has built a pretty great coalition out there for that cause, but Chrissy Whittiers is doing an event for him. I'm trying to bring it up for that. And I kind of want to go, but it's kind of like a long way. It's like 4 hours away from me. So if anybody wants to like carpool, I know it's a Sunday and it's kind of difficult.
What is the date for?
Bringing it up, May 4th. One more round for Kyle. It's at Black Swan Bar and Grill in Hillard, Ohio, which I think is outside of Columbus. Or not Columbus. Where is it? Any maps?
It's suburban Columbus. It's on the
Yeah.
west side.
Yeah. I think I've been there before.
I'd be happy to go with you if you want to go.
Really? Really? You're in Indy.
Yep.
I don't know if I think
If
that
it's-
it just we would even if we met halfway, it'd be like out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, if it was on the way, like I don't know exactly where you live, so
Yeah, I'm all the way up at the border of Michigan, so like I would
okay.
cut across east or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, but that would be so cool. If I could figure out the logistics of that. I have Mondays off, so it's not a big thing to get back super late for me
I
or
work from
whatever.
home on Mondays, so
Yes.
that is also, I can sleep in a little bit.
Okay. Well, let me think about this and see once I get off this Zoom call what kind of logistics I need to work out.
Okay. I'll put my phone number in the chat so you can just text me directly.
Cool. And I mean, Greg, you're all the way at the bottom of the state, but I still want to see you too. We could meet halfway, which is there.
Well, that sounds pretty tempting. I think I just might go with that.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else knows Kyle, but he's one of my favorite libertarians.
I know
Like,
it.
such a good guy. And I haven't seen Chrissy since National. So, and I didn't even get to hang out with her there. Baby and all. I'm sure there'll be karaoke if Chrissy has anything to do with it. Yep, karaoke songs.
Hey everybody, I gotta jump off of here real quick. I'm having some vehicle difficulties traveling down, pulling a boat to Dale Hollow. So I'm gonna try to jump on again later, but I've got to jump off.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Lomax.
Yep.
It is chilly this morning, which just wreaks havoc on my bones. Like when it's, 70, 80 degree days and then it's 50. Like that's no bueno.
My knee that has 2 screws in it because of my ACL reconstruction hates this kind of warm, hot, warm, hot. So my knee's aching today, so I'm a little angry.
I've always had it with the rheumatoid arthritis, but it definitely has gotten worse with getting older.
I've begun saying, "Is it? I feel like rain's coming. Is it supposed to rain? I feel it in my bones."
That is a real thing.
It is definitely real. I'm hoping that technology advances quickly because I'm wearing out my server arm fast. Like I need a bionic arm to keep going for the next 20 years.
Yeah, there was watching this researcher, and they always say like, oh, we're just so far away from being able to live to be like 130. Well, the advances that they made in protein synthesis and mapping within the last 5 years, they went from mapping 200 proteins a year to they just mapped over it's like 4 million proteins in 1 year. And with that, they are now finding proteins that, block certain things like cell death and things like that. So they actually do have science behind saying that within the next 10 years, we'll be able to take peptides and live to be 180. And I'm like, pass,
Yeah, no,
pass.
thank you.
No, I'm good. You gave me an expiration date, and I agreed to those terms. You can't now extend it by another basically 100 years. That's not cool. Okay, it is 11:25 and we are back to business. Okay, next on the agenda is the comms report. Mr. Smith.
Okay. Start the timer on myself here. But the last month we focused a lot on social media. To say that our social media postings have gotten a lot of attention would be an understatement. And a lot of them have been just posting some libertarian philosophy, but we've also pivoted to commenting on current events from a libertarian philosophy, sharing articles either from Reason or from popular media, sharing our own commentaries as well. A lot of times, if we post anything about immigration or trade or tariffs, we get a lot of engagements. We've had multiple posts this year with more than 100 comments on Facebook, or this month especially. One right before the convention we posted from Chase Oliver about immigration and due process, got 628 comments at last check. And we've continued to get a lot of engagement out of our posts. Right now, according to Buffer, and I think these are a little low, but we are averaging 648 engagements a day and 16,000 total engagements this month on Facebook. Our reach is up, and our Twitter and Instagram continues to be low because Mr. Musk on Twitter just throttles everything, and we just do not have a whole lot of following on Instagram right now. So, although I think that's something that I hope and think will grow over time, because that's kind of where the right now the 16 to 25-year-olds are on Instagram and TikTok. So, we're reaching on Facebook kind of the 35, 40 and up crowd, and we're reaching them quite a bit. So that's good. We have 2 editorials, op-eds in the can. One of them that's going out on Monday morning to media across the state is our commentary on the property tax bill and just taxes in general, and how the state basically is taking money out of putting money in one pocket and taking it right back out through allowing local income taxes. And there's another on the now withdrawn bill that would have criminalized homelessness statewide. But as Mr. Lomax pointed out, that's still an issue in a lot of local municipalities. And that op-ed touches on that. So that'll be going out next week as well. And we'll have a few more in the can. I know I've talked to Joe Hauptman. Joe is interested in writing some op-eds as well that we can distribute to local media. And I know we have in the past kind of had a libertarian writers guild that has sent out op-eds on a somewhat regular basis. And I would, I'm working on reviving that. Joe's obviously a part of that. I can be a part of that. And we have, we're continuing to grow. I know Larry Silver wrote a letter to the editor about Greenfield's homelessness issue that I proofread, and that ran today. So we're getting a lot of attention and a lot of reach, spreading the message of libertarianism and how we're not Republicans and we're not Democrats, but a very principled and consistent message of liberty.
Any questions for Mr. Smith? Okay, hearing none, moving on to Tech Director, Mr. Schultheis.
After the state convention, I fixed a publishing issue with the SCC page on our website, and the bulk of my time has been working with Mr. Dixon on transitioning the treasurer role. I'm continuing to serve as the de facto treasurer until we get him officially switched over, but that will be imminent as soon as we get everything scheduled.
Oh, sorry, I was reading the chat. My only thing is I'd like for us to work on also getting our domain name switched over to the LPIN account. Any of those other, I think you already took care of any of the plugins or programs or apps that we use that were going to the treasury email, now going to the tech email. Did you take care of that?
I believe so. If not, we can get that switched over.
Okay. And then just working to get everything into the LPIN's hosting account.
Okay.
That's basically it. Any questions for the tech director? Okay, hearing none, Ms. Coquillard for outreach.
Okay, so this last month I was able to work on a couple items a little bit. The first thing that it being defining the outreach director's roles and goals, kind of like what we did with the district representatives roles, just kind of mapping out what my job entails. So I've been working on that, and I should be able to submit that next week or so, just put it out there on Google or whatever. And then the other thing that I've been working on is building the framework for a high school college libertarian civics education program. I kind of want this to be pretty versatile in how it can function and be presented depending on what the classes and teachers will allow us. I want to give them a 20-minute video that they can play on their own. I want to have the framework for like a 45-minute class with a volunteer from one of the districts that the school is in, with a PowerPoint. Just basically you push the button and you roll with it, and you're able to kind of give your own input individually, and then other versatile options that will allow us to speak to students. I'm looking for suggestions on content and willing volunteers in each district to volunteer their time and in going into these classrooms. But one of my goals in the framework of this is to highlight the human side of libertarianism. Just human-centered framing, real-world stories and case studies, reframing key libertarian phrases is something I'm very interested in looking into, just to be more enticing and more appetizing to people, especially the youth, and radicalizing them towards liberty. And then also emphasizing voluntary action and community. So if anybody wants to suggest content or volunteer or anything pertaining to the civics program, I'm more than willing for people to help. Just email me, outreach@lpin.org. And that's it.
One thing for you to know, my communications with schools has been they're wanting libertarians to come in to talk about the Constitution because there is a requirement within curriculum now, state mandated, to teach the Constitution from certain perspectives, and they would like libertarians to do that, but not from a partisan standpoint, not to come in and talk about this is what libertarians believe, but just what the Constitution is, why it matters, what the checks and balances are, which I remember getting that in school as part of the curriculum that was part of social studies, but apparently there's an advanced thing now where they want people to come in and speak on it and answer questions, not from the teacher. Weird.
Sure.
But so that is one of the things that there have been multiple requests from. Andy Horning as an author on both the US and Indiana Constitution is available. He said he would be more than happy to go to any high school anywhere in the state. So bear that in mind. And you might want to reach out to him and maybe develop a curriculum with him about how we can talk about the Constitution at schools. And then we can send that out to schools and say, hey, we know you're looking for this. We can offer it by having Andy Horning, a published author, respected authority on the Constitution, come and talk to your class.
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm willing to like go at this from multiple angles because I know that they're going to want different things from us. I mean, different college clubs and stuff like that would want something different than say a high school history teachers. But if we can just give them something that is just ready, push a button, ready to go. 20-minute video might be a godsend to a substitute teacher just to push play on in a history class. You know what I mean? So I'm just coming at it from different angles for sure.
Okay, any questions for Ms. Coquillard? Okay, hearing none, the next item on the agenda, so we don't have any committee reports or tech reports. So we'll move on to new business. Next item is 2026 State Convention. However, I don't have anything. I know I put that down for 10 minutes. I'm not exactly sure why I did that. Other than just to say I will be working on an updated RFP for both 26 and 27. Please make sure to send that out to any hotels, venues, visitor centers, Chamber of Commerce within your counties, within your district, and then bring those back. You'll actually send them to, we need to have a committee email set up, the .vote or .team, Mr. Schulteis, for convention, so that they can just send that directly to the committee and have that go to the committee members. And then I can get with you to let you know who the committee members were. But if we can get that automatically done, so it goes straight to them and doesn't have to like filter through me or anything like that, that would be great. That's it for the convention on the agenda. Any questions about that? And just as a reminder, Mr. Seniak is the ex officio chair of the convention committee, just FYI. LPIN logo redesign. I'm going to share my screen again. The current logo that we use right now, which is required by the county parties to use, and I'll use Morgan County as the example. Morgan County's logo says LPIN.org, Libertarian Party of Morgan County. Well, they have a website, morganlpin.org. Allen County has a website, allenlpin.org. The logo that we are requiring them to use goes to the state party. Plus, we're not lpin.org. We are the Libertarian Party of Indiana. I've never understood why our domain name was the largest thing on our logo. It never really made sense to me. Lori, who is a professional brand manager and graphic designer for a university, has also said our logo is trash, and doesn't meet the expectations of a logo. On the right-hand side of this image, the bottom one is the idea that I have. The only changes that I would make to this is I do actually want us to keep using the black, and then Indiana being in gold like it is on the one on the left. But having variations of this so that it can be Libertarian Party of Morgan County, you know, different colors so that, you know, if it's on a white background or a black background or a gray background, it shows up differently. Having them in all white, all black, so that we can use them in different print ways. Ms. Schillings has worked on this, and I'm sure she would, you know, have that, so that we have different print options. And she is working on a templated version of this. I think she was even saying she would, please correct me if I'm putting words in your mouth, but creating them for the counties just as a template, but then having them already done so they don't have to do anything. Am I correct in that, Ms. Schillings?
I would create them for the county party so that they would not have to create anything on their own to ensure branding integrity.
Perfect. I'd like for us to do this. The brand team or the branded materials team needs to start moving forward on designing, picking, sourcing materials for us to start printing, leading up to, you know, I'd like to have new branded or just branded stuff for the state fair. Like to have more options for our counties, for fall festivals, all of those different things. So we need to decide now if we're going to move forward with the same logo that we've had that's confusing, or if we want to move forward, not as the LPIN.org, but as the Libertarian Party of Indiana, and start incorporating that into the designs of the new branded materials that we hope to get printed. So I will leave this up on the screen. It's difficult for me because I can't see you guys. So I'm going to ask Mr. Siniak, if somebody raises their hand, can you please alert me? Because I'm actually, hold on now. Ha, I can see it. There we go. Yay. Okay, never mind. So open the floor to questions or comments. I'll start with Ms. Schillings because she is our professional graphic designer. Ms. Schillings.
Thank you. I would like to say that the proposed mark is for structure and design. The colors are ultimately changeable. The idea of having your URL incorporated, it really kind of detracts from the message of what your party name is. I understand it's real easy to say, hey, just go to lpin.org. You can still do that. We can still add other text elements into your document of whatever you're producing to include your URL. But as far as a dedicated word mark, we really do need to have a clear, concise message and to have it be very similar across the board. So this is adaptable the same as we have done for the counties. We would just put libertarian large and bold, and then the party of whatever county or the party of the state, and we can ultimately adjust that. This will be easy to do to produce in more simplified colorways as well. We were kind of limited in the colors that we could choose before. So I understand that Evan would like to have it be a solid black. I'm willing to listen to those arguments, but gray is our primary brand color at this time. If you're wanting to adjust that, we can certainly do that in our brand guide. That's pretty much all I have.
Okay. Questions and comments? Please raise your hand. I can't see you. Nobody feels any way about this at all?
thank you for your efforts, Lori. It's needed to be done for a while. I know I think it was Rodney that made the current one, which was, we had nothing before that. So
Okay.
I think that'll definitely be easier to use for branding. I mean, the fact that we don't, I mean, like, District 2 has our own website. So, having the lpn.org there and then having the lpnd2.org, it's kind of a cross branding. I try to make sure that I push both websites equally, but yeah, being able to simplify this a little bit, and I think it'll actually be more customizable with going the direction that Evan was talking about here.
Reminder, please use the hand raise button. Wait to be called on. Shout out to both Mr. Cotton and Mr. Lundy there. But he's probably angry because I left the Y out of his last name, which I just now noticed. Danny, when I renamed you, I made you Danny Lund. Sorry. Okay, if there's no other questions or comments, I would entertain a motion to adopt the proposed mark for the Libertarian Party of Indiana.
I would like to make a motion to adopt this proposed mark for the Libertarian Party of Indiana.
I'll second it.
Moved by Ms. Schillings, seconded by Mr. Siniak. Is there any objection to doing this by voice vote? Okay, hearing no objection. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Okay, it is adopted. Yay. Why am I stuck on you? Okay, that's weird. All right. Okay, apparently it doesn't want to switch to me. Does everybody else see James Siniak big on their screen? Oh, is
Only
it showing
you.
me? Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Okay, next on the agenda is committee schedules. Mr. Siniak, as the chair of the convention committee, would like for you to start putting together regular meetings for the convention committee that can then report back. Granted, those meetings right now will probably be sparse until you start getting RFPs back from locations. But also you can start thinking about things like themes, speakers, stuff like that, but working with that committee to get that done. So I'd like to have that in the system scheduled that we know when those meetings are recurring. You don't have to have access to the Zoom, which is also a tech thing that I want to talk about at some point. We don't need to continue using Zoom. We have full access to the Google Meet, which can hold 24-hour long meetings. So you don't have to do that, but we don't have a 30-minute timer on our Google Meets, and they can be recorded. And any person, any member of our organization with an lpin.org address can schedule their own meetings via Google Meet. So let's see. The other committee is the bylaws committee. That really doesn't need anything until closer to convention. Me and Mr. Siniak were discussing potentially having, if we did have a standing rule or a bylaws proposal to be adopted by the SCC, that we might have that at least be reviewed by the bylaws committee before it's brought to the board. It's not a requirement, but something that we just might want to do to get that engagement from the bylaws committee. The brand, then moving on to team reports, same thing. There have been no meetings of the teams as of yet, but I'll be working with each of the three teams to organize who's going to lead the teams and then who and then scheduling those team meetings. With the two major focuses on my part, things that I'd like to see is the branded materials and the gaming being very important. I don't know why I went over all that again, but yeah, so those are the team schedules, committee schedules, like to have those done and noticed and known. Let's see. July SCC schedule right now, the schedule for the July meeting, which I do believe is remote.
It's in
No,
person.
it is in person. That is my nephew's birthday, and I have missed his last 3 birthdays because of SCC meetings. Because I apparently am a horrible uncle and don't have his birthday in my calendar, so I schedule on top of it every single birthday party.
I can't make that one either.
Okay, good. So 2 officers can't be there. Yay. Would there be, is there any objection to, or I would like to move it to like the 26th of July.
26th is our Pride Fest, so that won't work for me.
Okay. The 12th? I
I
think
can't
that,
do the 26th, but I can do the 12th.
okay. I think the 12th would impact somebody else's, one of the district service Saturdays. But we could also do a Sunday if anybody's open to that, Mr. Siniak.
You might have already said this. Just remind me, is this in person or is this?
This is in person.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
We could do the 27th, or excuse me, the 20th, that Sunday. Ms. Schillings?
I'm happy to consider a Sunday meeting for this one. It doesn't really matter one way or the other to me. I'd rather do it closer to that date than earlier because holidays sometimes are a bit much.
I do concur. Ms. Coquillard?
I am open for Sundays as well. I'm off every Sunday. I imagine we should probably schedule it later for those who attend church. So we'd have to do it in the afternoon, but I'm down for that.
Being that you are one of the furthest away people, would a 2 o'clock meeting, because I really don't want to go like 2 or 3 is probably the latest that we'd want to start a meeting. How about 2:30? Would that be, I mean, how, because then you got to drive back.
Are you talking about on the
2:30.
20th?
Yeah, July 20th. Yeah.
So we'd be
I
done by.
can't.
Well, you suck. Can you do remote? Can you remote in?
No, I'll probably be traveling that day.
Okay.
But I can have a report in with my stuff, in advance. So don't
Yeah.
let it jack up all the scheduling for me.
That's fair. What do you guys think about Sunday, July 20th at 2:30 in person?
I make a
It
motion.
should work for me.
Go ahead, Ms. Schillings.
I would make a motion. We move our July 19th in-person meeting to July 20th at 2:30 in person.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Cotton. All those in favor say aye.
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 Hi.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, so we are moving to the 20th, and I will also send out I will update out that in the calendar immediately after this meeting, but I will also send out an email to the SCC just in case. The next item was the May meeting. Mr. Siniak. That is scheduled for May 31st. That is a remote, no, that is an in-person meeting as well. Are you able to remote in? Mr. Senior?
No, because the time is right
Oh, it's
during
wedding.
the
It's your sister's
actual
wedding.
the actual wedding.
Okay. May is rough.
Unfortunately, that's also Labor Day weekend. Or
Yeah.
not Memorial Day.
31st is not Memorial Day weekend. The weekend before is Memorial Day weekend. It's
Wait, okay.
yeah, the Indy 500 is
Hold
on the
on one
24th this
second.
year.
Maybe I'm getting my
Okay, we will hold for one
one
second.
1 second.
Well, James gets his affairs in order.
And 31st, I also have a wedding to go to.
Okay. Let's think of options while we're waiting for James, because we've got at least two members.
I prefer the last week of May. I mean,
Okay, what day is it currently?
The 31st.
That is her wedding. Yeah, the 31st is her wedding.
The only other available weekend is probably 17th and 18th because Mother's Day is on the 11th.
but the LNC meeting's the 17th, and they'll be gone.
Yep.
So that's why we made it later that month.
And the 24th, I'm not available that weekend.
We may just have to forego the presence of our vice chair for that meeting.
Yeah. Just if there's anything, Mr. Seniak, that you want on the agenda or discussed, written report if you want. Sorry, buddy. Sometimes that's the breaks, kid.
Yeah, that whole last week, that's around the time frame that my daughter might be coming out with our granddaughter here. So
nice.
I may have to forego that as well, depending on how things work out timing wise. So
Well, you can remote in. So when you're sitting there
Yeah.
outside the labor and delivery room, you can remote in if you want.
I don't think grandma would appreciate me trying to remote in for a meeting.
Why does she hate liberty?
She
Just
loves
kidding.
liberty, just not me when I have something else to pay attention to. So
Yeah, no, it's totally understandable. Like, grandbaby coming into the world, that takes priority over an SCC meeting. But
honestly,
if you do find yourself available, you can remote in.
I
You can
might
also, if you can't be there, as long as you notify in writing to the chair 24 hours in advance, you can assign a proxy. You just have to email me 24 hours in advance to say,
understood.
And the proxy needs to be somebody who is a member and lives within your district.
I will most likely be virtual that day because Jocelyn has her cochlear implant surgery that week. So I will probably just be on Zoom. So
So do we consider that issue resolved?
yes.
Okay. That is it. Are there any announcements? Hearing, Miss Avery.
If my voice will work. I just want to say that I've appreciated the board meetings that we've had so far and the information that's been shared and that the videos have gone up so quickly. So thank you for that, Evan.
You're very welcome. I've enjoyed doing them more than I thought I would. And I am with the scheduling snafu. I did go back and check the minutes, and then I actually looked at my handwritten minutes after the convention, like the following week. I thought I wanted to do them in the office, but what I actually had down on my notes was I did not want to do them in the office. I wanted to do them at home so that I would be able to like have dinner and do all of that stuff. So, and not be stuck in the office. So got that resolved. Yay for everybody. So I think, what did we say? There's 6:30. 6:30. If there is something that you would like me to cover, please send me things that you'd like for me to talk about. Right now, I want to focus on member recruitment and fundraising. But if there's something specifically you'd like to talk about, please let me know. Mr. Lundy.
Would it be appropriate to plug a candidate at this time?
No. Because you are a district rep, and we don't have any candidates. We have people seeking the nomination. But lovely effort there, Mr. Lundy. Any other announcements? All right. Then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Coquillard. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Avery. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. We are officially adjourned at 11:59. That is almost a full half hour early, even with a 10-minute recess. Our next meeting will be in person July 31st meeting will start at 12:30, so please be there prior to 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time.
You mean May 31st?
PM Eastern Time. May 31st. That is correct. All right, everybody. I'm going to did I say 31st?
You said July.
Did I? I meant May. Okay. Next meeting, May 31st. And